think I can.
You want to use that? Yep, that's fine.
Try.
Let us know if you need anything.
Okay, thank you. All right. Watch your mouth.
I thought he did really good.
I thought you brought David to be the tripod.
He could.
It's like what?
All right.
I got pictures. They're broken out by two. One varsity, one JV, one freshman. You go freshman first, you've got about 5 minutes left. Just after you win, they call them one at a time. Everybody gets it. Everybody got it. All the coaches get one. Yeah, because the team.
Okay. I thought you guys did that individually and.
Everybody got individual and then.
I don't think you can talk to him.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get this show on the road here, okay? So what we're going to do, obviously at this point, hopefully you've gotten pictures if you have ordered them. Those came in the other day from Colin, the athletic office. We're going to do kind of like we do at a normal bank. We're going to go freshman team first. Coach Leiden will talk, and then call up all you guys for your certificates. Then we'll go Coach Wolf and the JV team. Then we'll go varsity, underclassmen, and then seniors. I'll make fun of you for a little while. That's part of what I like to do. And then again, I know Sam wants to talk. Max, Tyler, if any of you guys want to say anything, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to. And then when Ben gets here, I know we're going to censor him though because he gets like 30 seconds and that's it. Right? We don't want Ben to talk too much. Right? The less, the better. Coach Leiden and our freshman group. David.
Hey guys, we had a really good season. Thank you for that. I hope you had a lot of fun. And the first step in CV basketball are one of the ones at the high school level. I hope you keep fighting hard. Don't be satisfied. We had a really good season, but it's a big growth from there. So make sure you keep fighting, keep learning, and keep working hard. So thanks for a great year. Thanks for being respectful. It was a good time. Certificates. Matthew Steyer.
Congratulations.
in Somerville. Are not to want. Jacob Snyder.
Thank you.
Bob Singh. Ty Book. Tommy Barrett. Colin Ruff.
Good job, buddy. All right. Great job, freshman. JV. You got it. You don't even need my help, right?
All right. I'd like to thank a couple people. First of all, the boosters. Thank you. I know it's a little different putting this together, but it's a lot of work that they do that you don't see, and we really appreciate that. Also, would like to thank the coaching staff for all their input, their help, and the camaraderie throughout the year, and also our athletic administration as well. You know, we meet here and we talk about all these different things and go over, you know, it's usually a little bit longer, but ultimately it's about honoring the varsity and more specifically the seniors, you know, and I just want to, you know, say, you know, good luck to you guys, and it's been, you know, a real pleasure coaching you guys, and you guys have been a really integral part of our basketball community over the last 3 years, specifically the influence that you've had and the interest and the growth that is happening in the basketball community. And it's fun to watch. It's fun to be a part of. So thank you guys. Appreciate that. As far as JV, just real quick, I ended up 10-8 this year. And what I was really, you know, may not sound that great, but was really pleased with the growth that you had. I don't know if you guys remember watching the breakdown film of our inter-squad scrimmage, the very first one, okay? It was at that point, I was talking with Coach Lighting, and I told him, look, well, the most prestigious job in the Commonwealth is JV basketball coach. I will switch, and I'll take freshman, you can have JV. He didn't buy it, so we went through with it. You guys improved, you kept working, and I told you this before, we had a constant, that was obvious, Jackson, all right, but then we had different guys that stepped up and made plays. There was different guys and finishing games every time. There was never the same 5 guys finishing games. So that was a testament that you were able to step up. You trusted the system, you trusted each other. You know, you could have, after that, first couple weeks, like, man, this offense isn't working, but you kept going through it, drilling it, and it worked out. So I want to, say congratulations. You're like 10-8, but it was the improvement that we made was the mark. All right, so you can come on up and get your certificate. Samuel. Colin Basham. Soccer that he didn't pay attention to. Sir Rob. Will. Ashton. Kip. Tristan. Connor.
Yes, sir.
Zarel.
We'd like to meet each other.
Wait, no, this is Michael Gray.
Amy, how you doing?
You're more than welcome to come up and
You gotta get on.
All right, so we're going to go move in here to the varsity group now. First off, I mean, I just think of going back to March, where we had this big grand plan. Coach Brick was coming in the spring, right? We're going. We got summer league. We got camp. We were going to go to an outdoor shootout in Allentown. We had all this stuff planned, and obviously, plans got changed, right? And when we finally were able to get into the gym, and this was like July, August, right? Fall sports gets pushed back, and we got a little bit extra time. And one of the things we said to you guys was, this year is going to be about making sacrifices, right? And whether you like to or you don't, if you want to be a part of what we're doing this year, you're going to have to make sacrifices, because that's the only way that it's going to be able to work, right? And what we also said to you was, like, we're not going to hold it against any of you if you say, hey, you know what, coach, like, look, like, this just, and I don't want to, not go out with my friends, or I don't want to, kind of stay home a little bit more than I'd like to. I don't want to make some of those sacrifices, right? And, all of you guys are here, varsity JV freshmen, you made those sacrifices, right? Like, we didn't have a shutdown this year in our program at any part of the year that was our fault, right? Like, we got the governor shut us down for 3 weeks in December, right? The school shut us down for a couple days in January, but it was nothing because of us, right? So that's a testament to all of you guys here, that you made those sacrifices to be a member of the team and put in your effort and put in your time and make those sacrifices for us to be able to have a year, right? 14-5, district playoffs, third year in a row, second in the Commonwealth, right? A lot of really good things this year. Okay, a lot of really good things this year, and a lot of things that hopefully will continue us kind of on that upward trajectory. I think we looked back, like, in the records of Cumberland Valley for you guys that are returning, 4 years in a row in the playoffs. It's like maybe late 80s or late or early 80s, 1980s, right? So that's a great thing. 3 years in a row in the playoffs is something that's happened only a few times in the past. So again, we're continuing to move in the right direction. And again, that's for all of you guys, freshmen, JV, soft, varsity, returning varsity guys. That's awesome. Okay. We had 14 guys on our varsity group this year. Jackson kind of played both and did that for us. But we're going to kind of just go one group at a time and just kind of bring guys up. Again, just start with Jackson. Again, great job this year of going varsity and JV. Did everything we were asked in practice, and just had a great season as far as improvement. So first guy, Jackson Boone. You're not allowed. Second guy here I'm going to talk about, again, another one of our sophomores. Played a little bit of varsity last year as a freshman, but was mostly a freshman guy. This year, again, had an increased role for us. was a guy who we knew we could count on as far as energy on a nightly basis. You know, gave us everything he had. A guy we're looking forward to again for his improvement into next year. J.D. Hunter. Yeah, they should take it. All right, the next one. Again, a returning varsity guy as a sophomore. Increased role from a freshman year to a sophomore year. A guy who we relied on to handle the ball for us a lot this year, and again, a guy that we need even more from next year. I probably got to say your name 4 times for you to actually pay attention to hear me to come up. That's okay. We'll take it with what it is. All right. So again, Dylan Levis, come on up. Remember, he can say that. He can make it by himself. Okay? All right, good. Yeah, you go. And then again, last one, not here. You texted me, he's at an AIU tournament somewhere. But again, Nolan Gilbert, another returning varsity guy, second-year varsity guy. Again, improved across the board, became a scorer for us this year. Another guy we need to get big stuff from next year. All right, now moving into our junior group. Okay, again, different scenario here. This guy moved in January of last year, was never really eligible to play until the very end. When we had him in the fall, he was about a 185-pound shooting guard, and he showed back up at about a 225-pound dump truck in December. Totally different guy. But again, Troy gave us what we asked him to give us throughout the course of the year. He rebounded, he finished kind of that Harrisburg game, had a great game for us over at Harrisburg. Again, another guy we need big things from coming back next year, Troy Collard. Is that what it is? All right. Again, next guy here, junior. After when the governor shut us down, and then we were able to come back in the beginning of January, this guy got a little bit of a late start. He was doing his best Miami Vice impersonation over Christmas and New Year's down on South Beach, but it is what it is. He got a little bit of a late start, but again, a guy who brought great energy every practice. He brought great energy in every game. He was into every game, regardless of his participation in that game. And again, another guy that we think next year moving forward is going to have a huge role for us. So, Ian Morrison. Yes, sir. I'm going to do these next two. These are our 2 juniors that are not here. I think both of them are working. So if we're done here, if you want, guys, have your parents take you to Giant or drive to Giant and take a cart as far out in the Giant parking lot as possible, so that Zane has to walk out in the rain and go get it for you. But again, Zane, if he was here, what I tell him is his improvement from last year to this year was huge. Again, in practice, he gave us a great look. When he got opportunities in games, he was a tremendous passer for us. And again, another guy that I think can have a huge role for us moving forward. So that's Zane. And again, another guy I know he's working tonight as well, Red Lobster. If you want biscuits, stop at Red Lobster, get some biscuits on the way. But JT, again, another guy who I think is going to be huge for us next year. He's a guy in practice who gave us great looks. When he got opportunities in games, he did a great job. Looking forward to what he's going to give us next year, JT. All right, this is the other half of the tag team duo of Lloyd and Harry from Dumb and Dumber. This guy, again, from the time that he came back in the end of the summer, his improvement was huge. He had a great fall. Had a kind of an up and down year to start, but he really finished great for us in that last game of the year. I mean, he was again, one of the best guys on the floor, and that's the kind of guy we want to see all of next year, and I think he has the ability to be that guy all of next year, and that's Spencer Titus. Yeah. Yep. And then the last of our juniors, again, this is a guy who, you know, he had some big nights for us, absolutely big nights for us, shooting the ball, scoring the ball. Against the now state championship Reading, he had 15, right? Had a huge game for us that night and multiple games. And again, another guy who's just his improvement from when we first saw him as an 8th grader coming in as a freshman to now. And we're just looking forward to seeing that improvement. Again, he was a guy who last year as a sophomore was a JV guy who started giving us varsity minutes late in the year, and because he earned it. And again, another guy who I think he's going to take that next step for us next year and even have a more important and impactful role for us. So, Grant Kufa. Wow.
Thank you.
All right, so let's see here. I want to go with alphabetical. All right, I'm gonna go in alphabetical order here. So our senior class, okay, 4 strong. All right, 4 strong. And again, in your last three years since I've been here, last 2 years since most of you were varsity guys, huge improvements in our program. Last 3 years, 49 wins, 20 losses. Okay. Last 2 years, 32 wins, 10 losses. Okay. That's a huge, improvement. Okay. And again, you guys are continuing to be a part of that group that's going to be able to look back and say, hey, we accomplished some really great things. Okay, really great things. And what I loved is that it was a group where, they were very selfless in being willing to do, whatever it is that we asked them to do. It's a group who just the improvement, that being able to see their improvement from when I first got here, when the end of your freshman year, to now seeing you off as seniors, not just your improvement as basketball players, but you as young men, future college students, dear God. Again, moving forward, again, there's nothing that you four, do not have the ability to accomplish moving forward. Assuming, we can have somebody watch out for Sam, like a babysitter or something. So, I'm going to go in alphabetical order. I'm going to start with Ben Drury. Stay there first. I'm going to start with Ben. And I don't remember the exact quote, right? But do you remember sophomore year, walking out of the locker room, Hershey tournament, first game of the year, his first varsity game, and I'm going to PG it, I think, a little bit, but I think he looked at you or Omar or somebody and he said,
I shit myself 5 times.
I was going to PG it, but you did say you were so nervous you about crapped your pants about 5 times, right? So to go from that guy who, it was funny, like that guy, I don't know how much, how important basketball, you like to play basketball, but it wasn't that important, as much as important, to see your kind of transformation and to see you work, your butt off from kind of being a role player guy as a sophomore to being not just a leader as a player, but a leader as a person. And that's, again, going to benefit you down the line more than anything, okay? We're going to miss you on the defensive end from a basketball standpoint. We're going to miss your blocking shots, but we're going to miss more. You were one of our vocal guys, and that's something that's hard to replace. So,
Don't forget my jump shot.
Keep going.
he had a jump shot?
Keep going.
He won number.
He did. He made that one, right? Did he make one? He banked one, I think, last year as a junior. So I don't know if that counts or not. But
We'll miss it.
But again, we're gonna miss everything about you, Ben. Especially how smart you are all the time. Never wrong, always right. So we're gonna miss that more than anything. So, Ben Drury, come on up here. All right, now we're going to move on to Tyler Dunn. And all I can think, when I think about you, Tyler, the first thing that comes to mind was not, obviously we didn't have camp this summer, but the summer before when you had the broken foot, right? You had the broken foot, and your little go-kart thing was like the highlight of camp. And I wanted to fight like every single one of these other guys who kept taking it and riding it around all over the gyms instead of paying attention to the little kids who were at camp. But you know, again, Tyler is a Division I baseball player, right? He's a Division I baseball player, and what I love about him is he brings that mentality all the time. Like he brings that, you know, like when Tyler shows up to practice or Tyler shows up to, you know, Coach Brick's workout or something like that. Like it's about showing up and working. Like it's not about screwing around. It's not about. It's like I'm here for this next 2 hours. Like I'm going to give everything I have. And Tyler's one of those guys where, again, it was never about him, right? It was always about us. And whether that meant he played a lot, whether that meant he didn't play at all, he was the same guy. Like he was there for his teammates. He picked people up. You know, he'd always be involved. First game of the year, this year, we're playing Governor Mifflin over there, and start of the fourth quarter, and I look out there and I'm like, crap, we don't have a 5-man on the floor. I said, Tyler, how smart are you? I'm pretty smart, coach. So if you play the 5, he's like, yeah, I can do it. I got it, whatever you need. We put him at the 5, like he'd been doing it his entire life, you know? So again, that's the kind of just teammate that he was and the kind of person. And he's the guy that you younger guys should strive to be like. Because again, with Tyler, it's never about him, right? It was never about him. It's what does coach need me to do? What does the team need me to do? If the team needs me to be the best cheerleader I can possibly be, well, I'm going to be the best cheerleader I can possibly be. If they need me to be in practice and bust somebody's butt in practice, that's what I'm going to do. And again, that's the kind of mentality and attitude that as coaches we love, and it's something that I'm going to miss a ton. So looking forward to watching you these next, again, what I say, 70 degrees. When it's consistently over 70 with sun, then I'll be out there. Until then, you won't see me. But looking forward to getting out and watching you play baseball and following your career moving forward at Bucknell. So, Tyler Dunn. All right, next one. So, Max Krebsky. So, where I first remember Max, I just got hired. It was like the second time I'm here for open gym. I'm in the dome, standing there, and this little, like, I say little, like little curly hair, Joe Dirt kind of looking guy comes popping in the gym, and he's like, Coach, like, I'm a basketball player. Like, I'm at lacrosse right now, but I'm a basketball player. I'll be out. And I'm like, okay, man, yeah, it's cool. We'll see you. Give me your number. And then, you know, we didn't see him. We didn't see Matt because he was, you know, doing lacrosse all summer. Got to the end of the summer, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of forgot. I forgot about you because I didn't see you. And you texted me, and you were like, hey, Coach, lacrosse is done. Do we have any basketball left? Like, I want to get in the gym. So, well, we're done for right now, but we'll pick back up when we get back to school. And again, like, you know, moving in, we got into that fall, and Coach Wolf can attest to this, and Coach Haas, like, Max was one of those guys who just showed up every day, and he worked hard. And he went from being a guy that, like, when he texted me back at the end of the summer, I'm like, okay, who's this guy again? To being a guy we're like, you know what, he's okay, he's not. Oh, you know, he's a little bit better than I thought he was. Okay, you know what, he's a lot better than I thought he was. And Max went from being a guy that, you know, maybe we weren't even sure we were going to count on to a JV starter as a sophomore, to being a guy that by the end of his sophomore year was dressing varsity, to a guy we got into the playoffs there, and we thought about putting him in some games because of just how hard he played and the way he defended, to then becoming a 2-year starter as a junior and a senior. You know, being a guy who this year became a vocal leader. He was sort of like a, you know, jack of all trades kind of guy. He scored sometimes, he rebounded, he defended, he made plays, he dove on the floor. Like, if you needed it, he did it. You know, you'd look at the stat sheet when the game was over, and it would be 9 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and he guarded somebody good, So again, a perfect example for you younger guys of somebody who started out maybe not having, some of the accolades as other people, and he just showed up and worked. Again, even, summer going into his junior year. Hey coach, here's the deal. I got, we have 3 days a week. I'm gonna go to basketball 2, I'm gonna go to lacrosse 1. And he worked. And he just worked and he just worked. And he put in the time and he earned kind of everything he got. And it was one of those, we sort of joked at times and people would say, well, Max he's pretty good for a lacrosse player. Well, Max was good because he was a good basketball player. Like, forget all that stuff. And I forgot to add with Ben, because Ben and Max both made second team all Commonwealth, right? And you look and you have Max's name in that list with 9 other guys who, like, basketball is what they do, Max is a lacrosse guy, Division I lacrosse player, who was good enough that the coaches in our league voted him as one of the 10 best players in our league. So, again, just another perfect example of you put in hard work, you do everything that's asked of you, and you're going to earn, opportunities, and then when you get those opportunities, you just make the most of them. So, again, another guy we're going to miss, and another guy who I can't wait to, like, I'm going to have a tab set up with, like, all 4 of these guys, like, Gettysburg basketball, Yale lacrosse, Elon basketball, Bucknell baseball, so that I can constantly be checking, like, stats and games and things like that. So, Max, thank you for everything these past 3 years, 4 years for your career, and look forward to seeing what you do moving forward. All right. Last, certainly not least, so I don't know if a lot of you guys know this. This is a new stat we kept over the past 3 years, okay? And so Sam Sherry is going to graduate as the school's all-time leading my bad guy.
I knew it.
The all-time leading my bad guy, okay? He averaged, I think it was like 16 per game, and like maybe 14 per, well, probably like 30 per practice. Right? 30 per practice, 15, 16 per game. But no, all joking aside with Sam, again, I remember, end of freshman year, like, again, and I didn't, a lot of you, like, I would go watch the open gyms when I first got here, but I didn't really, oh yeah, I think that guy's pretty good, but, he did some things that stuck out in open gyms. As a sophomore, was a JV starter for us. Did some nice things as a JV starter, dressed some varsity late in the year, and then when we made that playoff run through districts and states when Sam was a sophomore, like every game, and Max was on the same thing here, like we made Sam the other team's best player in practice. Like that's who, like Sam's gonna pretend to be this guy from Cedar Crest or Abington. Unfortunately, when we used you in Abington, you didn't do a very good job. That guy was a lot better than you, but that's okay. We'll talk about that. We can talk about that later. But again, and it was the same thing like we said with Max. Like he did such a good job in practice. We were like, maybe we need to put him in, And then coming back as a junior, earning the opportunity to start, was our second leading scorer as a junior. Made second team all Commonwealth as a junior, and then coming back this year as a senior, working throughout all of the crap that was going on in March and April, not having an opportunity to go do some of the AAU stuff that he wanted to do. I mean, him and I were on the phone texting a ton because, between me trying to send out his name and him trying to send out his name and getting people to notice, we did a ton. And again, he worked himself from, a guy that has this, like, again, a lot of Division I dudes don't play JV basketball as sophomores. Sam was one of those like late progressing kind of guys, and like we talk about this all the time. Like I think you're going to be a 10 times better college player than you were a high school player, because right now you're kind of soft and goofy and not real strong, and you fall down a lot. Like I just sent these guys like 4 straight clips from the Hazleton game where you just fell down for no reason like 4 times in a row. But again, like, I have no doubt by the time you turn 20, 21, like, you're gonna fill out, you know, you're gonna become bigger, stronger. You're just gonna have a heck of a career. And again, I go back to the end of your sophomore year, and we sat in the classroom over there, right? And it was the three of us, and you, your mom, and your dad, and we were having kind of an end of the year meeting. And we told you, we said, you could be as good as you want to be. You could be as good because you were still growing at the time, and you know, we just thought that you had that potential. And I think you're only starting to scrape the surface of just how good you can be. So we're obviously going to miss you. We are going to put your name on the board out there. We're going to get a banner, My Bad, the My Bad Award, okay? And we're gonna kind of keep track from now. I think right now, if I have to get, I think Dylan's probably going to be looking to break your record, right? Maybe, right? So again, Sam, thank you. Oh yes, first, Sam also earned first team All Commonwealth this year. He was the second highest vote getter in the Commonwealth between the coaches on our division. So again, another great honor with some really good teams. So again, Sam, we wish you nothing but the best moving forward, and just can't wait to follow your progression. So thank you. So again, across the board, you know, again, varsity, JV, freshmen, you know, we continue to go in the right direction. You know, now for all you returning guys, another week or so, we'll start back continuing to try to take that next step. And you know, you other returning varsity guys, we've already met about some of that stuff and talked about it. So I know Sam has something he would like to say, and seniors, you get 30 seconds, that's it. You get 30 seconds. And I get a mute button.
Because I outshine everybody.
Yeah, we don't want you to make everybody look bad. So you're more than welcome. Come on up, Sam. Or whoever, anyone else who wants to speak. You're more than welcome.
So I'll just keep it short. I think we can all agree, from coaches to players to parents, that this has been a rough ride. At one point, we were stuck in our houses, unable to have face-to-face conversations with people other than our family members. We were worried about what the future will hold and where we'll be in our everyday lives. During this chaos, you may have had times where you felt confused, angry, sad, or scared. But look where we ended up. Despite their circumstances, we were able to successfully have a basketball season, play with masks on, and have a winning regular season record. Even though we didn't finish the season like we wanted to, I'm proud of my teammates for getting up in the morning to practice with me, for going to war on the court with me, and for picking me up when I'm having a bad game. Thank you. I love all you guys. From seniors to freshmen, I wish you all the best in the future. I would also like to thank my coaches, Coach Best, Coach Wolf, and Coach Haas. And I think we can all agree that coaching me was a headache. But,
No, not at all.
But moving up the ranks from freshman team to the JV team to the varsity team, I learned valuable lessons from each coach. They pushed me to be the best version of myself every single day that I stepped into the gym. I certainly wouldn't be in the position I am today if it weren't for them. So thank you guys, I appreciate that. Thank you for all the good memories. It's a pleasure being with you guys. Last but not least, I would like to thank my parents and siblings. Mom, Dad, Carly, and Hayden, thank you for the sacrifices you've made. The countless times you've put me in situations that helped me get to where I am today, and the endless support you've shown me. I love you guys very much. So thank you, Cumberland Valley Eagles basketball, for welcoming me into your family and helping me and my teammates grow into the young men we are today.
Anybody else?
I didn't compare anything, but thank you, coaches, for all you've done for me, and good luck to the younger guys. That's all I got to say. I just want to keep this short as well. Thank you to the coaches for making the season possible. There were a lot of setbacks. It was up and
good. Since I'm such a good public speaker, this is still going to be good. All right, so first off, I wanted to thank the coaches. Wolf, you've been with me for the longest, and you helped me out a lot with my basketball mind and my basketball skills. And like I texted you that message that Coach Wolf has insanely vascular arms, so when he yells, it's kind of scary. Haas, I mean, having you around, it's nice. You always keep the morale of the practice up, and even though a lot of the times you don't know what you're talking about, it's okay. Bess, sometimes it's hard to hear you because you're so low to the ground. But I think you did a really good job coaching us this year. JV guys, you guys did a really good job this year. Sarab especially. Yeah, it's good. It's also good that you guys fixed your hair. Kip, you no longer look like an idiot. Varsity guys, the sophomores, JD, Dylan. Like I said, it's hard to hear you guys sometimes too, since you're both 5'2". But it was nice having you guys on the court all year. Juniors, Grant, you don't really say much, and you say a little bit too much. But it was nice having you guys here. Troy, it's good that you got your haircut too. You look like then for the seniors, T-Dog, you always keeping the morale of the practice up. That was awesome, man. Oh yeah, I forgot Tristan. Where's Tristan at? Yeah, dude, that shot you made.
Yeah,
Listen, that's my favorite Cumberland Valley basketball memory. That's my favorite play.
Best shot.
All right, now back to the seniors. All right, so T-Dog, you kept the morale of the practice up all the time. You always cracking jokes, made me smile. That was nice. Max, hardest worker I know. Like I said, having you on the court was fun to play with you, and it was nice to get to know you a lot over the course of our basketball career. Sam. Sam, it was awesome playing with you this year. The way you can put the ball in the basket, the way you can do so many different things on offense. I think you're going to have a great career at Elon. And it was awesome to get to know you throughout these 3 years. And overall, I want to say thank you so much to the Cumberland Valley basketball program and all of the things you guys have done for me. You finally applied. Huh? You finally applied. I know. That's right. I didn't even make sure.
Hey, the last thing that I want before we wrap this up, and it's obviously, this year has been a year of just, craziness and having to switch and change, and we want to definitely, and again, all of you want to go home and make sure, because they're not here for most of us. They're not here right in this room with us like our normal banquet scenario. Hopefully they're watching, on the live stream that we've got here, but your parents also had to make a lot of sacrifices to help make this year work, right? Number one, they had to sacrifice getting to watch you play half the time, right? They had to sacrifice watching you play half of the time when we had an away game. They had to, it had to be mom and dad, grandpa, they couldn't come, to come see you guys play this year, but, so while we asked you guys to make sacrifices, they had to be, there would be days where I would text them and say, hey, here's an updated practice schedule. And then 6 hours later, I'd say, okay, scrap that, we're moving on to this one, right? And then, hey, this game's canceled, now it's moved to here. This game's canceled, we're moving it to here. Like, this year, they had to be just as flexible as you guys. And again, we couldn't have done what we did this year and got through it without all the help from all of your parents this year. So make sure that when you go home today, that you tell them that you appreciate everything that they did for you to help you get through this year. Because again, just like we've appreciated your guys making sacrifices, they've also had to do that same thing. And then last but just our booster club, our board members, who again were able to get everything sort of organized, and our lovely moms who helped get this event organized. It's just been, especially on Wednesday, they told us we couldn't do it at 7 o'clock, and now it had to be 3 o'clock, and we had to move it up. So it's just been, at this point, nothing's ever easy, but everybody made this thing work. And so without all of our contributions, we got it done. So I'm very much looking forward to normal and easy. Hopefully that's coming for you younger guys in a year from now, and it'll be a little bit different when we meet 12 months from now. So again, I appreciate all of you guys. I thank all of you guys for everything you've given us this year, and seniors, best of luck moving forward. Underclassmen, hopefully we'll see you here in the next couple of weeks when we try to start doing stuff back in the gym. All right? Thank you guys. Appreciate it.